Hi everyone, Trini Carnival is nearly here, so I'll share some recipes for popular street food and fat eats for the season. I'll start with the most popular one, which is corn soup. You can find this popular vegetarian meal year-round, but for Carnival, it's a must, especially at the fetes. So here's what you'll need. Of course, you'll need some corn, and I have some really nice sweet corn here, and since it's corn soup, we'll use it in different variations. So I'll use some whole kernel corn as well as some cream-style corn, some split peas, and some flour and other ingredients for dumplings, coconut milk, some pumpkin, cassava, and I'm using frozen cassava. You can use fresh, some aloo or potatoes, sweet potato, celery, chive or scallion, onion, some green seasoning, some pimento peppers, thyme, and more fresh herbs for garnish, garlic and hot peppers. I'll also use some Irish butter, some avocado oil, and a sprinkle of turmeric, salt, and black pepper. First, I'll prep the corn by removing the husks and the silk. Do you know that they use the silk to make tea? It's a traditional Chinese medicine for kidney and bladder problems. So here's how I cut the corn into smaller pieces. Someone actually messaged me recently to ask what's the best way to do it, and this is how I like to do it. To avoid the corn kernels from getting smashed when you're chopping it or from spraying up all over your clothes and your face, just use a heavy chopper and try to go through the corn cob or the core, or you can hit it halfway like how I'm doing it, and then using the weight of the chopper to break off the rest of it. So you can see how I'm doing it here. And you can cut the corn any size you like. If you can't get any fresh one, you can use frozen. To make the dumpling dough, combine flour, salt, sugar, and coconut milk powder with a little bit of green seasoning and some water. And you can add a little bit of cornmeal to it if you want. You could add some grated pumpkin, sweet potato, however you like. To do it, you can do it. My husband doesn't like the cornmeal, so I'm just making normal dumplings today. And you want to knead it a little bit firm so that it maintains its shape in the soup and it also has a nice chewy bite. So once you're finished kneading it, just set it aside until we're ready to use it. And I also put my split peas to pressure cook in the Instant Pot for 8 minutes. You can also add it straight to the soup if you want to do it that way. I like to cook it first before adding it. Into my deep Dutch oven here, I'm adding some Kerrygold butter and some avocado oil. To make this vegan, you can omit the butter or use vegan butter. Now I'll add the mirepoix, which is onion, garlic, celery, carrot, chive or scallion, and hot peppers. And you can add some bell pepper in there too. Pimento peppers give corn soup a great flavor, so that goes in, as well as some green seasoning, of course. This is optional, but I love adding a bit of turmeric. You can add fresh or ground. Saute until tender and add the pumpkin and the ground provisions in. Cook for about 5 minutes and then add the cooked split peas and some coconut milk. Here's my cooked split peas, and of course you don't have to pre-cook it, you can add it straight to the pot if you want to. And of course some coconut milk for that island flavor. Some fresh thyme goes in, and then I'll add 8 cups of water, or you can use vegetable or meat stock, and then cover the pot and let it cook for 15 minutes. Now divide your dumpling dough into smaller layers or dough balls. After 15 minutes, the provision should be nice and tender but not too soft where it's falling apart. Now add some salt and black pepper and the cream style corn. Here I'm using my dal gutney to mash some of the provisions and add a nice texture to the soup. Now add the whole kernel and the sliced corn and let it cook. Now my corn only takes about 5 minutes to cook, but different varieties may take longer. So you might have to pre-boil it and then add it, or you can add it earlier on in the cooking process. To make the dumplings, roll the loaves into thin logs and cut it into cute bite-sized pieces. Or you can do flat ones or spinners, or some vendors roll it into small balls. You make it however you and your family like it. Add it to your bubbling pot of soup and let it cook for about 5 to 8 minutes. Now taste for salt and seasonings and adjust accordingly. Here I'm adding just a little bit of green seasoning, and I'll just mix that in. Now finish with some fresh herbs and turn the heat off. Now you're ready to go and set up our big pot and our fete. So I want to show you my soup when it's completely cooled so you can see the texture. You see how it's still runny like a soup? If you add too many provisions or too much split peas, the soup is just going to turn very solid as it cools. And if you like that texture, then you can definitely add more provisions and more split peas. If you like this texture, then definitely stick to these proportions that I'm giving you in this recipe, and it's going to maintain a really nice texture and not get too thick as it cools. Although I cooked my soup with pepper, I like to have a little limey onion pepper chow on the side. To some onion, hot peppers and chopped herbs, I'm adding salt, black pepper, lime juice and some chopped lime. Now just mix well and enjoy with your corn soup. Thank you so much for joining me today in the kitchen for a virtual taste of Carnival 2023. I hope you enjoyed the video and the recipe was easy to follow along. Feel free to share your favorite Carnival eats in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to make this in a pressure cooker or an Instant Pot, I actually made a batch by sauteing the veggies first. Then I added all the ingredients except the dumplings. I pressure cooked it for 10 minutes and Then I took it off, put it on the saute setting again, and then cooked the dumplings for about 5 minutes. And it turned out great. You can also serve corn soup with chicken feet, pig feet, cow heel, or even pigtails. My husband actually made some stewed pigtails on the side to add to his. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed, please give the video a thumbs up. It really helps out my video. Share with a friend and leave some comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing so you won't miss a recipe. Keep well and stay safe.